there's magic taking place in your life right now, and there's like a big transformation that's taking place, but I think it's very subtle. And I'm seeing this collective wanting to speak up or speak out or try to, like, I'm hearing something about level the playing field or like put someone in their place is also something that's coming through, which I do have the Judgment card here. And it's for the right reasons, right? There's some kind of imbalance. This is feeling pretty material. So maybe you're not getting paid enough at work, or you need somebody to pull their weight a little bit more in your family or in your relationship. There's something about that dynamic that is shifting permanently. I'm hearing permanently. But you are being asked to listen more than you speak. I got a little download earlier about someone trying to keep the peace. Like, it's like they're almost sacrificing some things about themselves or their values as a means of keeping the peace, values that they've held up until now as a means of keeping the peace. I think that might be you and whoever this other person is that's involved. If this is a relationship, this is probably someone who has always had this, like, some people withhold, right? Some people don't want to show up or go, do the extra mile thing for the person that they love, or learn how to speak a love language, as a means of protecting themselves, when really those things are not, those are just things that you do in relationship. You learn and you improve and you contribute in a way that is valuable to the person that you're sharing your life with, right? So I can see some reluctance here, but I also, again, I see this call for a collective to just kind of watch it play out. So while this other person, could be holding their tongue and working to keep the peace, why is that happening, right? I think there's something within them that is adapting, is something that I'm hearing, not bending. I'm hearing adapting, right? Adapting and growing and learning how to be flexible. And then within you, I see the collective learning how to be patient and learning how to be consistent and learning how to hold, right? Learning how to trust. But up until this point, I think this is very seriously, I'm hearing something about devastated for some of you. Like, this has very seriously affected you. I hope it's not been like something really big, though. I'm seeing something about like a house, maybe like a contract. Yeah. Whoa, 3 of Wands in reverse with the 5 of Swords. This has really thrown some of you off. Strength here, the 6 of Pentacles. This has really thrown some of you off of your track. Hang on. Whoever this other person is, you must have said something that really, really got him. Really punched him in the gut is what I'm hearing. 5 of Swords, 8 of Cups, 3 of Swords. This is very reflective on their own jealousy and projections and like their need to maybe be better or like beat you at something. The Hermit at the bottom of the deck, it's telling me that they're doing this. That's that like kind of low and slow magic that I'm seeing take place here. The Knight of Cups on the split with the 9 of Pentacles, and I saw the Chariot. I also am getting that this is something that they were raised with. So this could be, I'm hearing cultural, either within their family or within like their lineage and the culture that they have found themselves in this life. There's something that was handed down to them that you are now challenging. Page of Cups here. You're now challenging them to look at this with like a more creative disposition. Like, hey, that's actually kind of disruptive is the word that I'm hearing, and not kind, just split to death. Not kind, not Knight of Swords. The way that they're communicating, Ace of Pentacles, the way that they're communicating is just not helpful. Ace of Pentacles, the Devil. This is a hot button topic for them. The Magician, and I do think that they're, I'm gonna dip into, I don't always this, but I'm gonna dip into like what's coming for whoever this is, meaning this couple or whoever you are, right? What's coming in this situation, in this relationship, because if this change is as big, as foundational as it is for this person, it's going to affect you. And I wonder if there's tension that is kind of required for you to get through this lesson or this season. I think that there's already been quite a bit of tension. It seems like there's been losses, right? I would love to hear in the comments what that is for you guys, because I can feel for some of you that those losses were really substantial. And I'm curious about the level of forgiveness that you have extended in this situation. Like, I really want to know. So let me look into the future. Hang on. So, I do have the upheaval card that came out. I think that was the first card. But again, there's something about this. I think it's the way that you approach this, or just the desire between the two of you, you and this other person or situation, to really keep the peace. I do have the peace card here, confidence, creative ingenuity, and then I have leadership at the bottom of the deck. The tarot is also telling an interesting story here, but let's just start with that. So I think that you have developed enough confidence, and you know this person or the situation well enough. I'm getting full body chills. You know the person or the situation well enough to be able to speak to it in a way that is, I guess, allowing for a level of like propulsion forward, right? And that's been your energy from the very beginning of this message. You came out as the Queen of Wands, Judgment with Justice at the bottom of the deck. Like, that was very clear. You had, like, your intentions, your heart is in the right place. You want the same thing for this person that I think anybody would want for their relationship. Healthy. It feels good. There's nothing in you that's necessarily maniacal, right? But I do not think that this other person has always held that stature. I think that you have helped this person heal and feel safe enough to get to a point where jealousy and competition and, that kind of turning into, those are like subconscious things, right? That kind of turning into like a withholding. I think you've helped them trust enough to approach this respectfully, right? I also am hearing something about you and how the only reason you were able to help this person, I don't think that it was like active, but I think that this person was showing you a lot about the motivations and whatever was going on in your subconscious. Like, they were mirroring a lot back to you. And so there was maybe a kind of respect or like a special kind of understanding that you had for this person and whatever it was that they were bringing to you, whatever it was that they were showing you, that was met with compassion because you kind of saw yourself. Now, this can be a really dangerous game. For some of you, I don't think it ended super well in certain situations, but this reading implies that this person is still in your life. So like, this could be an ex-husband or an ex-wife. This could be your current partner. Maybe things haven't been as monumental and destructive in your life. So maybe you guys are still together or work, right? Like there's so many things. Take it as it fits. But looking into the future here, like, it's a lot of potential. I have 2 aces. I do think that this collective is going to continue withholding your thoughts, not necessarily Ace of Pentacles, not necessarily withholding. I think that you have a good reason to withhold in this situation. But it's kind of a balancing act here. This person might feel kind of like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because maybe they feel like they don't have what they need, either mentally, spiritually, or materially, to show up in the way that you have been challenging them. But there is effort, and there is like a kind of reforming of what they deem to be right. The Hierophant, their understanding, King of Wands, their understanding of what is right, but something is still being held in the balance because it takes time. The Knight of Pentacles here, Eight of Wands on the split. So I think that this is a very important lesson, that it feels a little shaky on their end. You are definitely more confident in this situation and have a lot more faith in this person than I think they do. But there's consistent effort. So whoever you are, you're going to have to discern for yourself. I'm seeing the Ten of Swords, Justice, so that's good. There is consistent progression. There is more peace in this particular situation, in this cycle, than there ever has been. So you know, you got to discern for yourself what your next move is, but it doesn't look bad. It looks good. It looks genuine. It looks genuine.